Okay, so hey guys, welcome back to another video. So this video I'm going to post today is going to be my second YouTube video, and we're actually going to talk about some games that are coming up or some games that have ended. So without further ado, let's get into it, hey? So the first game that we're going to speak about was actually last night, which was between Richmond and Fremantle. So I didn't actually really watch most of the game, but the game at the end was a very interesting end to the game. Fremantle came within 9 points of Richmond before Richmond in that last term kicked a couple of goals and pretty much sealed the game. So with that win, Richmond is cementing their spot in that top four. So Richmond are in really good form at the moment. So they're playing some really good footy. They're looking dangerous. And then why Fremantle, they're not looking too dangerous at the moment. They've had a couple of wins, but the last 2 weeks they've lost and had not heavy losses, but they've had losses to be like, I don't think they'll do much for the rest of the season. So the next game we're going to talk about, the next couple of games, we're going to talk about is actually, they're on tonight, which will be, you've got Sydney take on Melbourne, which I think will be an okay game. It's not going to be a standout game of the season. You know, Sydney are sitting not favourites. They're having not the best season they've had. They've had a couple of big wins, but not recently. Why Melbourne have come off a scrappy game against St Kilda, which it was a very scrappy game to watch, and they just got the job done. They just held on. But Melbourne are still looking dangerous. They've won the last couple, and leading into the finals in the next 3 to 4 weeks, they're actually looking in pretty good form. They're sitting in 8th at the moment, so with a win, it could push them to 7th. So Melbourne are going in heavy favourites. So I think Melbourne should get the job done, but I wouldn't underestimate. Wouldn't underestimate Sydney Swans, but I just don't think Sydney will have the capability to get up there. Then the next game is the Greater Western Sydney Giants taking on Carlton, which will be another ripper game, which is also tonight. So that will be, I think, almost the best game of the round, I'd say, because you've got two clubs that are fighting for the top 8 to get into the 8. The Giants are sitting 9th, and I'm pretty sure Carlton is sitting like 11th or something. So it's all to play for in this game. The Giants are going in favourites, so I do think the Giants could possibly get the job done. They won the last game by a comfortable margin, but that was only their first win in like 3 games. So this will be a big test for the Giants to see if they can match it with the top 8 and match it with an up-and-coming growing team of Carlton. So Carlton, they've actually been in some good form. They haven't won. They didn't win the last week, but they've actually done really well in their last few games. They've been coming close. They've been really competitive. So it'll be a very interesting contest, and I'd love to see who's actually going to win this game, whether it will be close. But I think it's going to be a great game to watch. So then the next game, which is a Friday night blockbuster, I think this is almost the best game of the round if I didn't say the Giants and Carlton was. So this is between Brisbane and Collingwood. So for me, this is almost a vital clash for Collingwood, I'd say, because you've got Brisbane, which are the favourites. They're sitting comfortably, I'm pretty sure, in the top 3. And then you've got Collingwood, that are sitting in the bottom half of the 8. I think they're sitting like 6th or 7th. So I think this, if Collingwood can win, they'll push for top 4. I think they'll make the top 4. But if Collingwood lose, it will be, I think, a missed opportunity. They've got the talent. Their midfield is elite. Yes, they're coming in with injuries, and they're coming in with mostly injuries. They're coming in with COVID cloud of some players have broken restrictions and laws, but they've been in red hot form lately, which is sad to say. But they've been in good form. But Brisbane have also been in good form. They haven't been in their best form lately. You know, they've got some stars that are really lacking in consistency. I'm mostly talking about their Cameron, who a great player, great ball getter, unreal when it comes to picking it off the ground, kicking easy goals, kicking great goals. So if he fires, I think, you'll see Brisbane in the top 2 for sure. So with that game, I'm predicting it will be Brisbane to win, but I think it will be a very, very close contest. Collingwood are a team that can be underestimated. They come out and they can play not too good, but then they can play it and match it with the best. So I'm going to go with Brisbane Lions, but I think Collingwood could be a sneaky chance, but I'll stick with the Brisbane Lions. So there's only 5 games. I think there's 5 games. One, two, three, four. Sorry. Yeah, there's been 4 games over the last. I think it was Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and that's it. So there's only 4 games. So there's a lot of teams that have got the bye this week. Which let me look at my notes quickly and tell you who they are. So you've got the Geelong Cats, which have the bye, which in a way for the Geelong Cats is fantastic for them. Having a bye at this stage where they've played some good footy, they're in good form, they're winning, they're kicking a lot of goals, and they're doing it comfortably sometimes. Then North deserve the bye. They've been really poor this year. They just haven't had the year they've wanted. So with North being the way they are, they need the bye. They just need a rest. They need something because nothing is going their way. Port Adelaide, you wouldn't think they'd want the rest because they're sitting on top of the ladder comfortably. They're playing really good footy. Their power forwards are just elite. You know, you've got up there Charlie Dixon, who's just dominating marks, contests, and kicking goals. So they'd be saying to themselves they don't want the bye this week. You've also got St Kilda, which St Kilda wouldn't want the bye, I don't think either, because they're sitting in a tough spot now, losing the last couple, and potentially they give it 2 weeks, and if they lose a couple more, they'll be out of the 8. So St Kilda really need to keep playing, and they need to start winning a couple more. I think they need to win I think they need to win 2 out of their last 3, I think, or 4, to make the 8 and secure themselves. Then you got the Western Bulldogs. Yeah, I think they need a bye also. I think their form lately has just been very, very poor, inconsistent. So I watched this show called The Bev Show, and he actually is a massive Bulldog fan and talks about their inconsistency so much. They can match it with the best. They are actually one of the best sides when they're working well and they're all working as a team. But their weaknesses show. Like, their big strength is once they get the ball outside the defensive half and they're kicking into the forward and they're running through the midfield, they do that with ease. But teams are picking up on that and just noticing that they're actually having a bit of a struggle with that when the pressure is put onto them. And then you've got the Suns. So the Suns are another team which looked really good at the start of the season. They were flying. They were in the 8. They were going to be in the 8, you thought, for the first time. But they're starting to struggle a little bit now. They had a nice win against North before the bye, which was a great result for them. So really dominated North. So that's pretty much the bye. The teams have got the bye. It's a lot of teams this week for the bye. So then next week we have a couple of I think another couple of more teams have the bye sort of next week. So a lot of byes this week, and finding out where the grand final's being played. Look, I'm happy with the grand final being played in Queensland. It's a great experience for them at the Gabba. So, and you think if Brisbane can get into the 8 and Brisbane play and they get to the grand final and they play it at home, you think Brisbane will take it out if they're in the grand final and they're playing it at home. But you just never know. Footy changes from week to week. How do I feel about a 7 p.m. grand final? Look, I'm not too pleased with it. I like tradition, so I prefer it to be your 2:30 start, because it's done that for so long. Being out of Victoria, and as I live in Victoria, it's sad to see that it's not going to be in Victoria this year and not continue the grand final tradition of having it here, our 2:30 start. So look, a bit disappointing with it being, especially at night. I just don't know what a night grand final is going to look like. I guess we'll have to find out. Like, I might change my mind when I watch the grand final at 7 p.m. But I just think that it's just having it late at night. It's just not the experience that it would be during the day, where the build-up is you get out of bed and it's already, and if you get out at 10, the grand final is like 3 to 4 hours away. You get up, you go to your mate's house, or you watch it on your TV. But this year, Victoria might not even be able to have people go over to houses. So that will be another different sort of thing with the grand final. Even we might not be able to go to people's houses to watch the grand final and have our annual grand final day barbecues and parties. So this will be different. And at 7 o'clock, you can't have your barbecues. You can have a night barbecue, but it just won't be the same as during the day. So these rounds, the tips that I've gone for, which I've talked about, is I've gone for Melbourne to beat the Swans. I just think Melbourne will just be a dominant side. I just think they'll be able to overrun. Their forward line is becoming good. You know, Christian Petrarca is becoming an absolute elite player in this competition, so I'd just be wary for him, and he could kick a couple and put the game to bed. But yeah, I think I'm going for Melbourne for that. The GWS and Carlton game, it's a hard one to go for. I think the Giants hopefully could get the job done, but I just think Carlton are that shot where once they start well, that's it. You'll struggle to get back into the game. So, but I'm going to pick the Giants for that. Brisbane Collingwood's a tough one. I've picked Brisbane and I'm going to stick with it. I just think Brisbane will just be too strong. I think Brisbane, if their forward line can fire and their defensive work is great, they should win that game pretty comfortably. So the times that the games are on is you've got Sydney and Melbourne. The time's at 4:40 tonight, which is a decent time, but it's a weird sort of time to have that game. But it's Thursday, why not? Then you've got your classic Thursday night footy at 7:10, which is the Giants and Carlton. You've got a 7:50 on a Friday night. What a blockbuster! Normally takeaway night and have a couple of beers while watching Brisbane and Collingwood. So yeah, 7:50 for that game, that's the best time you can have for a game on Thursday, Friday nights. It's looking good, but yeah, so that's all I've got to say about the AFL this week. So I might make a video on Monday or even Saturday or Sunday, just talking about the results and seeing how I went with sort of the tips that I've made and so on. So I'll make maybe another video on Sunday, and I might talk about even the best player who I thought was the best player of that week, or the best players from each game. So, but if I had to pick a player that I think will dominate each game quickly, I'll do that now and see how I go with that. Is for Melbourne and Sydney, I'll go Petrarca. I think, but that Petrarca, I think he'll kick a couple. I think he'll be a dominating force. So I think he'll get best on ground. The Giants and Carlton is hard with Kelly going down and getting injured. So I didn't actually do this week the who's in and who's out. I thought I'll do that next week. So it's a tough one with Kelly going because normally Kelly is the Giants' best, but I'm going to lock in Canelio or Jeremy Cameron. No, I'm actually going to go with Jeremy Cameron. I think he'll kick a couple, but then you've also got Carlton's side where Cripps could have a breakout game. But I'm going to stick with Jeremy Cameron for that. Collingwood Brisbane. No, not Collingwood Brisbane. Yeah, Collingwood Brisbane would be a tough one. I think anyone can fire, but Lockie Neal with Brisbane has just been the best player in the last few years, and he will just dominate that game. So I'm not going to go with him for best on ground because let's face it, he's most likely to get it and be Brownlow contention this year. So I'm actually going to go with a sneaky chance and put Eric Hipwood. I just think Eric Hipwood, when he kicks straight, gets his marks, he's a strong force. He kicked 6 a couple of weeks ago, so I think he can be in form. He's very inconsistent, but I'm going to go with Eric Hipwood being the man of the match for that. Even though Lockie Neal would probably win it, I'm just going to go with Eric Hipwood, and then the Giants and Carlton. I'm going to stick with Jeremy Cameron to get best on, and Petrarca for best on against Melbourne and Sydney. Melbourne and Sydney. Sorry. So I hope you have a great day and I hope you enjoyed this video. So second video on YouTube. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video.